Good morning, everyone. Laura Johnson here, and privileged to have Zack Brown with us, our internal over at Athene. I know the invite did mention Grant Smith. Unfortunately, due to some travel and weather things, he will not be able to join us. So we've got Zack and I today. We're going to be talking a little bit about Roth conversions. You know, partial Roth conversions are a very popular topic this time, right around this time, with taxes being as low as they've been and they're going to be trending upward, I'm sure, coming soon. It's just a really great time to, present this topic and get with clients and talk to them about the opportunities they have. One exciting thing, and I won't steal all of Zach's thunder, but, Athene makes it really easy for us to do Roth conversions, including partial Roth conversions, full conversions. So, really a premier partner when it comes to looking at the Roth conversion topic. So, with that, for those of you who don't know, my name is Laura Johnson. I've been with IAMS half my life. That's what I always say. But I worked on the admin side for about 8 years. Been on the sales side for about 8 years as well, or going on 8 years now. So, um, yeah, if you ever need anything on the annuity side, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to help. I'm gonna just go through a couple of housekeeping things, or more so just give you guys a little bit of information on IAMS, and then we'll hand it over to Zach so he can jump into what we're going to be talking about today. If you do have questions, go ahead and type those into the questions box. We'll try and answer those as they come up or as we cover those topics. So, for those of you who are brand new to IAMS or maybe considering joining IAMS, maybe not with us yet, this first thing I'm going to talk about is for you guys. It's called our new producer bonus, and really what it is opportunity in the first 6 months of being with IAMS, an opportunity to earn, as you can see on the screen, either some marketing dollars or marketing collateral, anywhere from seminars to radio, you name it, it's probably up here somewhere. But really the goal with this is to say thank you for that first couple pieces of business. And then also be able to show you that we're going to partner with you. I mean, this is a relationship business. I always tell my agents that, and it's got to be mutually beneficial. So we work together and partner together to accomplish great things. So if you're curious where you stand, I will say for index annuities, it's dollar for dollar. So if you're curious where you stand on this, go ahead and give your marketer at IAMS a call. There is a ratio for the life side, but you'll have to reach out to your life marketer and they can kind of guide you through that as well. But if you're curious where you stand, just reach out to your marketer. They can get that total for you, let you know how close you are to hitting it, or if you did surpass it in your first 6 months. Once you're done with this, we do move you into a marketing reimbursement program. So for every 100,000 index annuity premium you do, we put $100 in a marketing account for you. For every 100,000, sorry guys, I do have getting over a little sickness, so bear with me today. Every 100 of single premium life will be equivalent to $200 in your marketing account, and for every 10,000 of life target premium, that would be $200 as well. So again, great opportunity just to be earning those dollars over time with us and can utilize that for different marketing expenses going forward. We also have a referred producer program. So a lot of you have been in the industry any length of time, referrals are important in your business. They're equally as important in our business as well. And so when you do refer someone up to IAMS, it's $50. And then as you can see on the screen, there is a little bit of kickback that you do receive for all their life and annuity business as well. I will mention those referred checks are paid out quarterly, so they don't go out on a daily basis. That is a quarterly thing. Marketing reimbursement, one caveat there we just recently did. We do put a threshold of 400 as a payout at a time. So if you've got little expenses, keep gathering those receipts. Once you get up to that $400 threshold, send those in and we reimburse at that point. Insurance agency marketing service. Service is part of our name, and that's because that is our number one goal. If any of you have heard from Steve Murray on these things, he'll preach on this as well. Charles founded this company with service as the goal. That includes when you call in, every time you call in, you're getting a live person. So usually within a couple rings as well. We want to be that back office support. We want to be able to take something off your plate so that you can stay in the field doing what you do best. Everything from case design, illustrations, Amber and her team and the life new business team do a great job, what we call submission to commission support. That means following up on your business every 2 to 3 business days. Right now there's a lot of carriers, won't name them, but there's a lot of carriers that are very behind on processing business, maybe because they had the best rate for a few weeks or a few months. And our job is to help push that along, get things expedited, do the best we can to be that defensive player for you against the companies and help get that business pushed through. And the teams do a great job and they keep you updated. That just keeps you in the field doing what you do best. And we are on Insurance Bay, which is our paperless contracting. So really easy way to get your contracts done, be able to add more carriers as you need them without having to do more paperwork. If you haven't been to our website, as you can see here, it's www.imesinc.com. I'm not going to bore you and go through the whole thing, but there's a lot of great tools. One thing we do give you access to out there is Annuity Rate Watch. So you can pull up any annuities out in the industry, see what their current rates are, be able to run rider quotes, things like that. On the life side, they've got a term quoting tool. You got a lot of great areas you can pull different information from our marketing corner. One of my favorite things, though, is under the support tab. It's our sales resource library. It's a library of resources for you guys out in the field. Fact finders, financial calculators, you name it. There's a ton of great resources in there, though. So I encourage you to check that out as well. On our website, we also are partnered with Firelight. So if you can see on the screen here, all the carriers. One thing, I feel like I hate remembering passwords. So I have to remember one for IME's website, and I can access e-apps for all these carriers. It's a single sign-on through our website. You have access to actually 3 different e-app platforms. We've got Firelight for the annuity. A couple life carriers are on there as well. iGo e-app for the life side and Connect to Medicare for the Medicare side. So regardless of what business you're doing, single sign-on through our website, you can do all those applications. Nice thing about that is they also do come to our office prior, so we can do a scrubbing on them, whether we need to order a paramed on them or, do a high level overview on the applications, let you know if there's any big red flags that we see. That's what our job is try and help deter issues before it gets to the home office. Our creative team, if you guys, I'm guessing a lot of you on the line were probably part of our virtual kickoff meeting we did yesterday. The IMES Ascend event, that was all put together by our creative team. They did a great job, but they do a great job every day for our agents in the field. And that could be from building websites to doing newsletters to doing a logo design or a business card. I'm working on some different email campaigns with some different agents right now. Do a lot of social media marketing. So, regardless of what the project you're looking to have done, our creative team does have the tools and the resources and the people here to accomplish those. So if you have a project you're looking at working on, feel free to reach out to our creative department or reach out to your marketer, kind of let them know what you're looking for. And then they can link you up with the correct person in the creative team to get that project going. I always tell people that there's no cost to our creative to paying for the resources that our creative team does if you are actively writing your business with IMES. If you're doing your business here at IMES, again, it's a mutually beneficial relationship. We'll help you. We can help with these kind of services as well. If you didn't know, we do have a sister company, IMES Wealth Management, here in Omaha as well. A couple of years ago, DOL was several years ago now, 4 or 5. DOL was kind of looming over our heads. Charles and Steve said, it's time, pulled the trigger, and we now have an RIA as well. Charles Jr. and his team run that firm here in Omaha. And a lot of our top guys on the insurance side are our top advisors over on the wealth management side as well. And I think it's really valuable. And I'm going to talk real quickly about 2 things on this. Number one, if you're 65 registered, considering maybe getting your 65, or you're looking to go that avenue, we can help get you registered. We've got a lot of great money managers. Duncan does a great job for the guys in the field, helping them grow their wealth management side of the business. But I always tell people, it's really important, I think, because if you walk into a household, the client's got 500,000. Well, we know that Athene's probably only going to take about 300,000 of that, right? So what are you going to do with that other 200,000? Because if you're not going to do something with it, you're just allowing another advisor to potentially come in, swoop up that other 200,000 and potentially steal that client from you. So we think it's important to have avenues for our agents. So number one, if you are registered, obviously we can get you signed up with the RIA. But we also think it's important for those of you who don't want to. Maybe you're at the end of your career, kind of slowly phasing out, and you just don't want to get your security license. Well, we do have a client portion to this as well, where you can. Zack is our client manager, and he handles a lot of our agents' clients. You know, the agent handles the annuity portion, Zack handles the wealth management side of it. Your client, you know, your client's safe at home with IMS. You're not going to have that agent or that client stolen from you. If you do, maybe you're studying for your exam as well, and you want to refer clients up to Zack. He keeps you up to speed on everything that's going on. You're very involved in the whole process. He just does the security portion of the sale. But if you were studying and then you pass your exam, he will transfer all those clients directly to you as well. So a good way to kind of build up that AUM under Zack until you do pass your exam and are able to get registered. So if you are interested in either of those things, I'm throwing a poll question up here quick for you. If you are interested in either the client portion or maybe potentially getting registered with us, go ahead and answer yes to that question. That'll just generate a phone call from Duncan here in my office. He'll more so just reach out, answer any questions you may have, maybe about money managers or our process. You know, he does a great job for agents. So encourage you to, if you're interested, go ahead and hit yes. And I will have Duncan reach out to you following the meeting today. The faster you answer, the faster we move on. All righty. And last, before I pass it off, is I got to end on a high note, and that's trips. Everyone loves trips. We do a lot of trips around here at IMS. We just ended our qualification for Park City. We're privileged enough to partner with Athene on that. The qualification ran through the end of the year. So we're taking a good chunk of people who wrote $3 million in 12 months with Athene through IMS, going out and spending 4 or 5 days out in Park City, Utah. I think they're going out in like late August. But then we did also announce our next big trip, our top producers escape. It's going to be at the Seaside Sanctuary over in Kiowa Island in South Carolina. South Carolina is right outside of Charleston. Qualifications $4.5 million. Qualification did start July 1, but it runs all the way through this year. So till December 31st, 2023, you have to qualify. So plenty of time. If you've ever been on a trip, you've probably not missed one since then because they're a great time. Everything from golf to spa, just a really great time to be with 75 other agents who are doing the same thing you're doing every day. It's all expense paid and it includes you and a guest. So really excited about that. If you're curious about where you stand, just give your marketer a call. Actually, anyone who answers the phone should be able to answer that question for you. So with that, I am going to hand things over. Like I said, Zack Brown has joined us here today. He is our internal wholesaler over at Athene. Does a great job helping get things expedited at Athene when we need that done. And so he's going to share his screen here shortly. And we will get that going. I'm seeing your email screen, not the, oh, there you go. Perfect.
Hey, are you guys, is it showing the wrong screen here? I don't know why it's been doing this of late.
Yeah, you probably just need to change the view to just the one, because I can see your next slides part.
Yeah, I need the, hold on, where is the view? Sorry about this, show screen. Here we go. Is that better?
Perfect.
Does it show that agenda? All right. Okay, well, sorry for that. And thank you for having me, Lauren. It's good to be here with everyone. Like, Laura presented on it earlier, my name is Zack Brown, and Grant Smith is my external. And like Laura alluded to also, we have a great working relationship with IMES. When she mentioned earlier about service being in their name, I can say they are at the top of all the ones that I've worked, any carrier or not carrier, I'm sorry, but partners that we've worked with. I've had the opportunity to work with them for quite a while, and I just can't thank them enough for all the services they do. So we will jump into the presentation here. So what we're going to go over to today is why Athene now, and of course the main topic are partial Roth conversions. And we're going to go into a couple of products, which will be our income and accumulation play, our Athene agility, something I like to call our Swiss Army knife, as it has a little bit of something for everybody. And then our product of the year of 2021, our Performance Elite. So why Athene now? Well, if you take a quick look at our numbers at a glance, we have almost 235 billion in total assets. We have around 1,500 employees, and I can say that is growing. We'll be out completely transparent with you. I know with how the rate environment was going last year, we maybe did get a little bit behind. So if you did feel a little bit of that, I apologize, but we continue to hire, and now we are back within standard, so you don't have to run in that again. And another thing, we are A's across the board. That is as of recent of July 2022. So we have strong financial ratings. And we were number one in FIA sales again. We had, 5 products, if not more, that did over $1 billion. So what does that say? We always like to, bring that up because it means Athene is not a one-trick pony. We have a solution for each and every one of your clients. We're about to get some, these are the 2021 awards, as I know we haven't had the 2022s yet, but in 2021, just a few that we did get was Carrier of the Year, Product of the Year, which I'll be touching on later, our Performance Elite, Hedging Carrier of the Year, and I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up our renewal rate integrity. What we like to bring that up is, we do hold rates. So, we're not just going to hike rates up to get you guys in. We're going to hold those rates so your client can keep those rates and keep growing their income or accumulation. And here's kind of I like to bring this slide up when we saw it last year, right? This is what our estimated annual growth was going to be in our retail. Well, I can say that we're already into 2025, if not higher. So there is a great opportunity for retail growth here at Athene, and we're only going to continue to go higher. So partial Roth conversions. This is, like Laura mentioned, it's a very important topic, especially right now. It is a good road to tax-free income. As we all know, Benjamin Franklin said it best when he said what? There's only 2 things guaranteed in life, and we all know what those are: death and, of course, taxes. Can't get away from either of them. Uncle Sam is going to somehow get get those taxes one way or another. So, as we were talking about earlier too, currently the taxes aren't too bad, but are they going to get higher? Things to think about. They are currently at an all-time historical low. The federal deficit is growing daily. And as we all know, Social Security is, some people are already currently having challenges with that. So it's just going to be more challenges in the future. And for inherited qualified IRAs, those are taxed much higher. And estate taxes do look like they are going to be on the rise as well. So is there an alternative to escalating taxes? I won't lie, if the answer was no, this would be a short discussion. But the good thing out there is yes, there is, and that is our partial Roth conversation. So here is a good Roth conversion strategy. Convert IRA assets to a Roth IRA over time. you pay taxes today in exchange for the tax-free growth and tax-free income later. Of course, there is that minimum 5-year hold, that you have to hold on to it after conversion. Target ages from retirement age 55 to 72 before the RMD raises, which I know we probably need to update now with the new CARE Act that went out where it's going to be 73. But you get to convert to Roth IRAs when the marginal tax brackets are lower. And you can control these taxes by converting just enough to stay in a lower tax bracket. Which brings me to our next slide. This is a true life example, of a married couple. The husband was a physician and they decided to retire at 60. They had $2 million in a traditional IRA. And what they were looking to do is they were looking to take advantage of a way for the next 11 years to convert an annual amount and remain in that same tax bracket. So here are the numbers from 2021 to 2031, the amount that was getting converted over, which was, close to around 677,000. So the results, as you can see, if they didn't do this conversion, their ending portfolio value was going to be around, 6 million, which is going to be around the same of the with the series of partial Roth conversions, but none of that was going to be tax-free. With this partial Roth conversions, 42% of that is tax-free and 268,000 less in taxes paid from ages 60 to 90. So why a Roth conversion? Tax-free income. We all want to keep more of what we work for. Earlier on when we had Uncle Sam there trying to get our taxes, we want to keep as little that he takes from us as possible. And the partial Roth conversion is the pathway to that tax-free income, which is, earlier when we looked at that one example, we were doing a little bit of laddering. I'm going to give another example using an agility product that we have here too that kind of shows you how it can be done. And we make it easy. It's a simple app process that you can use, our Athene's e-app or the Firelight system there at IMES, and it has the partial Roth conversion capability. So here is a good case study as well on an Agility 10. So the goal of this was, of course, to show how using an accumulation product in combination with an income product can provide your planning and income flexibility. So we have a 59-year-old client. He does have an income need and wants to use these qualified dollars to pay any taxes on any partial Roth conversion process. We have 200,000 in qualified money, and he has he wants to retire in 10 years and have a flexible income stream. So a solution would be to create a ladder income and flexibility of the rider activation. So what they do in this is you'll place a portion of the assets in the accumulation product, and then you're using that accumulation product of the free withdrawal feature to pay for any of those potential taxes that could be due to the conversion. The outcome is going to give you tax-free income and flexibility in planning. And here's a good look at this. So, here's a result over 10 years. Again, the reason why it has a 35% income-based bonus, this is that Agility 10 example that we're using. So as you can tell here, year one, 100,000 right off the bat. Let's just say they have the 100,000 in as a premium. Well, with the Agility, your penalty free is the value of the premium or accumulated value, whichever is higher. So in this case, that is going to be $10,000 of penalty free each year that they are able to convert down here into a partial Roth. So the reason why you have these new contracts here that are 1A, 1B, 1C, and so on, is those are we call the children contracts. The parent contract's the main one. So as you convert these over, it's going to be a mirror of the parent's contract. It's just going to be a little bit less from the conversion, but everything else is going to be similar. And one thing I do want to point out here too, 10,000 is not the minimum that you need to convert over. We allow 2,000, so you can do as little as 10 or as little as 2,000. There is no minimum of 10,000 like there are in a lot of our regular products. So there's really an outcome for everyone to be able to convert as many as they need over. So a recap on our Roth conversions. Please note, as you guys are probably all aware, full or partial do create a taxable event. And of course, we will get those tax forms out and distributed in the calendar year following those conversions. And there is that 5-year, they can be taken, the Roth distributions can be taken after 59 and a half, but, and the 5 years after conversion with the growth being considered after tax. And once they are recharacterized or redone, they cannot be redone. And Roth funds are not subject to RMDs, non-taxable death benefit, and again, the ability to convert more than the personal contribution limits set by the IRS. And this is, here at Athene, we have some really good job aids that could help you guys, if you need anything. We have a partial Roth FAQ flyer for any of those frequently asked questions. And we have a partial Roth conversion form. Those numbers are down there, but of course, if you need them, reach out to myself or Laura and we can get those over to you, or you can just find them on our at Athene Connect. We also have an easy app, partial Roth conversion form. One thing I always like to point out too, if you are starting getting into a fixed index annuity with us, and you're thinking that, hey, this is something that the client wants, you can even submit this Roth conversion with the actual application and contract for the new one that you're going to partially convert over, so it can go ahead and start getting into it right away. So there's no real big wait time either. So with that being said, I know if you guys have any questions, feel free to type those out or get them over to us when we're done here, and I'll make sure and get any answered for you. But I thought we'd jump into the agility play since we already used that as an example. As I talked about earlier, this is our Swiss Army knife product. We say that because it has a little bit of everything for everyone. It has accumulation play, income play, and it has a death benefit. So here, these are our most recent index crediting rates, or our interest crediting rates, I'm sorry. And then, this was as of November 18th, 2022. We haven't had any rate hikes since. I don't really see many of them going down. If anything, I could possibly see these continue to increase. As you can tell here, they're a really dynamic participation rates we have. Our agility 7 there, it has a, and our 10 have the great blend of index option that has the NASDAQ and the AI powered. You also have the BMP, and if you look at those, the 7 has a 195% participation rate for the 2-year, and the agility 10 has 210%. What does that mean? If your index on the agility 10, you're in the BMP, returns 10%, well, guess what? We're going to times that 210%, they're getting 21% back. So it really has a lot of uncapped potential here. And if you're, if you want the 1-year point to point, they're 2-year point to point, they're still, very competitive. And even our fixed portions are competitive in this product. One of my favorite parts of our agility product is the income play. So let me get back to that. I apologize. So the benefit base, is used to calculate the income and death benefits. The income and the death benefit rider are included automatically with absolutely no charge. And the best part about it is day one, there will be a 35% bonus added to that benefit base. And this is based off the initial premium. And there is no roll-up rate on this contract. So each year the client has a return. What we do is we take a dollar amount that is credited to the accumulated value, and we'll increase that by the 175%. And then that number is then added to the benefit base. So we'll get into an example here. So in this example, client has put in 100,000 and earns 4% return in that first year. Day one, like we talked about earlier, they get that 35% bonus. So right off the bat, their benefit base is at $135,000. And again, like we talked about earlier, at the end of the contract year, the client earned that 4%. And so the accumulated value here is currently now at 104,000. So since that 4,000 was credited the accumulated value, what did we say earlier? Well, guess what? We're going to multiply that 4,000 by 175% and add it to the benefit base. So 175% of 4,000 is $7,000, and that is where you get that additional benefit base added right after the year one. So you're right at 142,000. Given the client that 142,000 after year one to the benefit base after their contract anniversary. So they started at 100,000, and in 1 year in this example, they're already at 42,000 in the benefit base. Another good option on the agility is, it is the sole income option, but the agility has the earning indexed income. And what does that mean? That means the income will increase based on the interest earned. So at the contract anniversary, any interest earned will increase that income by the same example. So for example, same percentage. And for example, if the client has $10,000 per year that they are getting in income, and again, I'm using the 4,000 since that's what we use on the other example prior, index was credited 4%. Well, guess what? That income per year is going to grow again at that 4%. So now they were taking 10,000, the accumulated value and those indexes we discussed earlier performed well. Well, guess what? It's going to increase by that same amount. So now they're at 10,400 that they're getting annually. And another great feature is that benefit base is going to continue to increase by that 175% even after it's been triggered. So it doesn't necessarily stop growing once it's been triggered, has the opportunity for even expanded growth. We also have the enhanced income benefit that will double the income withdrawal until the annuity's accumulated value is reduced to zero. There is certain criteria that do have to be met. The annuitant could not be confined at issue. Rider must be in the income phase, and if they were confined, they do have to be confined for at least 180 of the last 250 days. And once that accumulated value is reduced to zero, what will happen is the clients will revert back to the regular lifetime income payout. So it won't go to anything, it'll just won't have the double anymore, it'll go back to the regular payout. And this is a really neat option on the agility. They have two options for a death benefit payout, not just one. We're big on that benefit base for the agility, so they have an option to do a lump sum of the accumulated value, or if they would rather have take that benefit base, since it's probably substantially a little bit more, they can easily get that. The beneficiaries can, but they would have to take it out in a 5-year increments. So again, doesn't have just one option. If they're okay taking the larger amount in 5-year increments, they're okay to do that. Or if they do need that lump sum payout, of course, they always have that option available to take it from the accumulated value. So multiple options on the death benefit. So for our Athene agility recap, you have your agile income. Income payments can increase. Increases are locked in and cannot be lost. And the income payments are guaranteed for life. You have your agile growth, 0% floor with locked in, 35% initial bonus to the benefit base, and you have your 175% marking leading stack growth. And here's when you have your agile liquidity. You do always have up to 10% penalty free, which is kind of what we use on that example earlier for the partial Roth conversions. You can either take that is based on the accumulated value or the initial premium, whichever is greater. And you have that enhanced income benefit at no additional charge, and you have your built-in rider death benefit where they can take the AV or the remaining benefit base in 5-year payments. So now that we've discussed partial Roth conversions and the agility product, let's go ahead and jump into our Athene Performance Elite product. This is the one that won the SRP Product of the Year in 2021. It is a great accumulation play with an optional return of a premium feature. One thing I always kind of like to think about whenever I am talking about our Performance Elite, it is our #1 selling solution in our overall portfolio. It is accumulation only, so there is no income rider on this one. It's purely growth, and it's the best in the business at it. And if you're thinking of a client that this one may work with, I always try to think, if you could tell your client, hey, I have a financial solution here where you can't lose $1 of your investment. It has uncapped growth potential, and you can do all this at no fees or reversible fees. That is our Performance Elite, and I'll explain even more of these features as we move forward in the webinar. Quick top 10 reasons to choose Performance Elite. I won't go over them all, I'll just hit on a few. But right off the bat, you get a premium bonus at issue. No fee on the base versions. We have our market-leading index performances. You have penalty-free withdrawals in our plus version or our base version. You have it in year 2 for PE10, but in year 1 for Performance Elite 7. You have a strategy charge credit on our plus feature, which means we're going to refund those with charge strategies when the costs, with those costs in a down market. And you can issue all the way up to 83 for our Performance Elite 7 and along with our death benefit features. So here is our premium bonus breakdown. As you can see on the left, the lighter green, that is our base version. That's our Performance Elite. And then we have our Performance Elite Plus on the right. So the Plus version is always kind of something that I like, just has little extra bells and whistles that you add to it. And I'll go into a little more of those a bit later. But as you can see, they do have a higher premium bonus along with the return of premium and enhanced liquidity features. But if you do look at the base version here, it's still extremely competitive on the bonus features right off the bat. Average of around 10% for most states. Our plus version, you have 16 in most, to 14. But one thing I always like to point out here is, while you're working with a client and you may be worried that due to some high surrender charges that, maybe we can't accept it. For California, it's, a no loss state. For most of our national products for the states over here is 2% loss. So what that means, you can use these bonuses to offset any of those surrender charge features. Let's say you're getting in just to the Performance Elite. You have a client that has an 11% surrender charge, like there's no way they're going to accept it. You could offset that right there by using that 10% premium bonus, and now they're down to 1, and now it's suitable. So just always remember that whenever you are looking or working with the client and wanting to get them into a solution that they need. And here are our crediting rates. This is a quick look at our Performance Elite 7. What I highlighted in red here, these are our low volatility indices. At Athene, we are a big believer in participation rates because of the uncapped potential. As you can see here, we also have our, we talked about earlier, we do have our 1-year point to points, which is at 8.75 with the no charge and 11.5 with the charge. But, but if you look at the participation rates, it gives you the option to also buy more of an upside potential. So let's use the example for BMP like we did for the agility. No charge feature, 230%. So again, what does that mean? The index returns 10%. They're going to get 230% of that, which equals a 23% return. And if you do look over here at our charge strategies, it is 125 bips, which we lowered last year. It was 175. We lowered that to 125. So again, same scenario. You pay a little extra to get your 300% charge, or I'm sorry, your 300% participation rate. So same scenario, your index does 10%. Well, guess what? The client's getting 300% of that. Now they're at a 30% return. And the way the market is currently at and has been at, it's really not a bad way to start looking at some of these strategies that have the additional charge to them, just to give them a little extra juice. And this is the same screen. It's just, these are our Performance Elite 10 index crediting rates. So as you can see, 7 is a little bit higher, but the 10 are still very, very remarkable. You have same scenarios here. 125 strategy, 125 bips on the strategy charge, and it gets you that, moves you from 180 to 255, and for the NASDAQ 115 to 165, and so on. So one thing, like we discussed earlier, we are big on diversification. We're not all about putting your eggs in one basket, and this one shows the options your client has. For the agility and the PE, you have 5 indices. You also have our fixed option. For our Performance Elite, you do have those options, though, that you can get into those ones that have the charge and no charge strategies here. Well, of course, I always like to show this slide because, let's say they put 50% in a Performance Elite with charge strategy, and then 50% in a strategy that has no charge. Well, we're only going to charge you for what your client has in that strategy that has the charge taken out. So we're not going to charge them the full 125 bips. We're just going to charge them that 63 just for that portion they have in it. So that'll go from the 125 to 63, and then they're allocated. They could be in a 1-year strategy, or they could be in a 2-year strategy, just really whatever they would like. They want to lock in gains every year, go ahead and put them in that 1 year. If they would like to see a little higher potential growth in the 2-year strategies, go ahead and lock them in that one. And this is I briefly touched on this earlier, but this is a really neat feature of the Performance Elite. Back earlier when I said, what if you could tell your client that you have a financial solution where you couldn't lose $1 of your investment, and you could, as uncapped growth, and do all this at no fees or reversible fees. This is where that reversible fee feature comes in. So in this example, we have a client that put in $100,000, and they put everything in, let's say it's Performance Elite 7. So they put everything in those strategy charge options, those ones that have the little charge. And unfortunately, the market just didn't perform like we expected. So they were charged $15,000, but unfortunately, they only got $13,000 in return. Well, your client's probably going to be like, hey, I thought I wasn't going to lose $1 of my investment. What happened here? Well, guess what? At the end of that surrender charge period, we're going to notice that client put in $100,000. They haven't taken any withdrawals out, but they're less than what the premium they had. Well, we are going to fix that. We'll cover that lost money. We will assure that we'll pay up to their cost basis, and we'll automatically give them a strategy charge credit of $2,000 or whatever it is, to get to their premium, and it'd be back in full at their cost basis. So in this example, we'd give them a $2,000 right off the bat, and they're back up to at least $100,000. So again, it kind of goes to that sense we always like to use on, zero is your hero in this sense. I am a numbers guy, so I thought I'd use a case study example. This is a Performance Elite 10. So like I said, I always like seeing numbers, and this is, again, where you have those blended strategies. We're at 30% in the AI index, 30% in the B&P, and 40% in the NASDAQ US equity. So for these ones, these are the no charge. So, no charge strategies, just strictly in it. And we're going to use $250,000. As you can see, the premium bonus in day one, they're at $257,500. And, after let's say, they hold on to it for 2 years, 9 years going into their 10th year. This is a Performance Elite 10. So at the end of that surrender schedule period, they are almost at $567,000. That is an annualized assumed interest rate of 8.19%. I want to point that out. And so if you look at that, it's consecutive and competitive. And if they kind of hold into this for 2 years, assuming that 8.19% interest rate, they're they've more than doubled their money here. If we go down a little further here, and let's say, the client did hold into it, let's, fast forward down to here at 84. And, let's say the client stayed in the contract, enjoyed it. They, at that time, just please note on a Performance Elite 10, you could internally roll that into a new contract, get paid again, up to you. But in this example that we're using, we're just going to assume the client stayed into this contract. And at age 84, the unfortunate life event happens and the client passes away. Well, if you look over here, that has grown to almost $1.74 million that the beneficiary will be able to walk away with. So that's where that uncapped strategies really come into play. Great accumulation growth, and they've went from a $250,000 investment to almost 1.74 million that they're able to leave with their clients. And a final one that I have, this is same example. This is just now we are using the charge strategies. So we got them blended the same, 30% in the AI, 30% in the BNP, 40% in the NASDAQ. This one now, because you have that little extra juice that you're paying for, it's jumped from 8.2%, 8.20 to almost 14.80, 80%, sorry there. So almost a 15%. So same scenario, 250,000 in. We're at after the premium bonus, you're almost at 270,000. And if you look here at the same time, he is waiting 9 years. He's almost grown that to $955,000 from a $250,000 investment. Again, you are paying that 125 bips, but if you look at it from the no charge option to the charge option, you've almost gained an extra $350,000. Let's say the same thing occurs, same study that we used previously. Client stays in the contract. Unfortunately, at age 83, client does end up passing away. Well, guess what? Now with that, these beneficiaries are going to be able to walk away with $5.8 million from a $250,000 investment. And again, this is just that annual assumed interest rate of almost 15% that these strategies have been returning on a look back. But that just shows, again, that dynamic accumulation growth that this Performance Elite product has. And a final page here, just a little snapshot that kind of gives you a nice little overlook of your Athene Performance Elite 7 and 10, both the base version and the plus version. It does have a small 95 bips rider charge that just makes it the plus version that gives you the checks all the boxes over here. So that gives you the 10% penalty-free withdrawals in year 1, and it gives you the enhanced liquidity feature, which means your client doesn't take a withdrawal in year 1. They're going to have 20% available in year 2. We understand clients don't always need money in every year. So in 1 year, they may not need it, but in the second year, an unfortunate event does occur and they do need some money. Well, now they're going to have 20% available. If they withhold 3 years, it doesn't go 10, 20, 30, 40, so on. The max they could withdraw would be 20%. But let's say they do withdraw that, then the next year it goes to 10. If they wait another year, it's back up to 20%. And finally, I always want to talk about the return of premium feature on the plus version. After your 4th contract year, if your client is just, telling you, hey, this just isn't really working for me right now, what can I do? They can exercise this option here and get exactly that. They'll get their premium returned to them. So one easy way to remember that for the Performance Elite Plus version is 10, 20, and 100. 10% penalty free year 1, 20% penalty free if they hold off and wait to year 2. And after year 4, if it's just not working for them and they need to get something else, they can have that full return of premium option, and we'll return that after 4 years. So again, that hope I didn't go too fast over there, and I just want to say thank you again for having me here. It's always good to join you all on a webinar. Again, if you need anything at all, I can Grant Smith is the external, I'm your internal here. I know you guys, like say you work with IMS and I work with Laura pretty much every day, so you can always go to her or I, and we'll both work to get you what you and your clients need. Thank you so
Perfect.
much.
Yeah, thank you, Zach. Just a couple things. A couple people had questions as far as does Athene publish their renewal rates?
I know right now we're actually working on a marketing project for that. We're actually kind of set up about the renewal rate integrity on there. So I don't believe we always publish them, but I can kind of put that on a roadmap and go to look at it for you guys. I know, of course, they're always in our, um, of course, like we were saying, if your client has the renewal letters, they're always going to be published in that whenever it's time for renewal season. But I can dig into that more and look at it, but I know there's a big campaign to really start utilizing all those renewal rate integrities that we have.
Yep. Someone asked about can client change index strategies. So if you're in a 1 year point to point at the end of the 1 year, you get a reallocation letter so you can allocate anything that was assigned to a 1 year. If you're in a 2 year point to point, you have to wait till the end of the 2 years to be able to reallocate those funds, but you can reallocate on an annual basis. Um, Another one, Zach, will you make sure you shoot over the presentation to me? I have several people
Yeah,
asking for some of the slide decks.
you bet.
Um, Another person has what are the requirements for the return of premium rider? You want, I mean, it's a 4 year wait.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you pay that extra 90, the 95 bips to kind of have the plus version, but it's really just a 4-year wait, exactly that. So, after 4 years, if it's just not working for them and they're wanting something else, it's really just a letter of instruction saying, hey, I want to exercise my return of premium feature, get that into us, and we'll return that.
And then last question someone asked was reiterating what the fee was on the plus side for the 7, 10, and 15. It's 95 basis points. So there's two. The 95 basis point gets you the liquidity, the plus liquidity rider. If you do the strategy fee, that's separate. That's at 1.25. So with that,
Yep.
it looks like that is the majority of questions. Now I will let everyone on the call know we did have a very large attendance today. So my assistant will be working diligently over the next probably 2 business days to get everyone out copies of the presentation, all the materials. So be patient. It'll be probably coming from either Hunter in my office or Dustin. I got two of them that work for me. So one of them will be sending you an email with a recording of the meeting as well as the collateral that we talked about on this meeting. So with that, I appreciate everyone taking time out of their day and hope you all have a great Thursday.
Hey, thank you. Everyone have a good day.